You ever seen a BMW explode through your brand new fence at 7 a.m. on a Saturday? If not, hell, let me paint you a picture. I'm talking wood everywhere, tire marks carving up my lawn, the stink of booze thick as cheap cologne. So strong, you could catch a hangover just breathing near the wreck. Before I could even wipe the sleep out of my eyes, who else but Patricia Thornfield? Yes, that Patricia, HOA queen, pearls and perm always perfect, comes strutting up like she owns the damn street. Next thing I know, she's waving her board member card at the cops, barking orders. My son's car, the fence, everything. He pays for nothing. HOA rules. Blame the neighbor. And would you believe, she hands me a fake report trying to pin her son's drunk disaster on me? 3 weekends of work, busted to hell, and she's grinning like the Grinch in Chanel. But karma has better timing than Netflix. Tow truck shows up, siren blaring, hooks Bryce's BMW and yanks it off the street, right in front of Mommy's horrified face. Gone. Just like that. And Patricia? Her whole attitude does a 180, from smug to stunned in half a second. Honestly, that was only the opening act. You ever ask yourself what you'd do to people like that? Because what happened next? I couldn't make this stuff up. My name's Garrett Holloway. I'm 52, recently divorced, work as an electrician, and for a second there, I thought buying my first house was going to be the start of my comeback story. Turns out, I just walked into a war zone with freshly painted shutters. See, after 2 years of working 60-hour weeks, living off gas station coffee, and whatever was in the vending machine, I finally saved enough to buy myself a 1970s ranch out in Willowbrook Heights. Not exactly the stuff of Instagram dreams, but it was mine. Man, I worked that place over like it owed me money, navy blue shutters, tomato plants in perfect little rows, that kind of thing. My Saturday ritual? Black coffee on the back patio, boots crunching through autumn leaves, breathing in the crisp air and the scent of someone's barbecue 2 yards down. But my real pride and joy, that was the white picket fence. Every post, every board, measured and remeasured. My granddad always said, "We're not just shoveling snow, Garrett. We're building community." After my marriage crashed and burned, that fence was more than wood and nails. It was a lifeline. I've got 2 kids, Emma, who's 16 and could out-argue a Supreme Court judge, and Tyler, 14 and obsessed with my old tools. We lived together in that old house on Pinewood Circle. Back in the day, the neighborhood was full of working families, people who brought you soup when it stormed, folks who knew the value of honest work, blue collar as the day is long. But things changed fast. Suddenly, half the houses belonged to tech execs from California, folks who saw property value, where I saw neighbors. They wanted all the benefits, but none of the reminders of where those came from. Enter Vivian Ashworth, 52, ex-tech exec, drives a white Tesla so clean you could eat off it. She showed up 3 years ago, immediately started fixing things. HOA board member in 6 months, president in 12. She lives 4 houses down. 3 years and the woman's never even nodded at me, not even when I cleared her driveway in a blizzard, so she could get to hot yoga. But she sure noticed when my truck was parked 2 inches the wrong way. You know when things really started getting dicey? After that monster February storm. 2 feet of snow, winds like banshees, and I'm in the courthouse basement, because that's where the HOA stores all its secrets, digging through 25 years of contracts that smell like dust and broken dreams. That's when I found out Patricia wasn't just bending the rules, she was using them as a trampoline. Maintenance contracts to her brother-in-law's company at triple rate. Emergency repairs, that never happened. HOA fund money vanishing right before her kitchen renovation. I swear, every check that left the neighborhood was just another brick in her personal empire. Vivian, of course, sent me her own little note, handwritten like I should be honored. Please ensure future compliance. We must preserve property values for all residents. Translation: don't bring down the neighborhood, blue-collar boy. I paid the $50, figured maybe that'd shut her up. Mistake number 1. If there's anything I learned, it's you never feed a bully. You just give him ammo for round 2. Sure enough, 2 weeks later, here comes the next envelope, fines doubled, notes icier. Patricia even attached a copy of a police report, like a trophy. I sat on my patio, cold coffee in hand, just watching that letter flutter. And I remembered something my divorce lawyer told me. In property damage disputes, the burden of proof is on whoever claims the damage. $3,000 in legal bills to learn that one. But now, it was time to play detective. So I do what any half-decent Sparky does. I measure. 3 times. The BMW tire marks cut way onto my side of the road, my fence a perfect 18 inches inside the line. Built to code, built to last. And just when I think I'm going crazy, Mrs. Monroe from next door calls me over. She's got ring footage. We're hunched in her kitchen, steam fogging her glasses while the video loads. There's Bryce, Patricia's golden boy, cell phone in one hand, steering with the other, music so loud it shakes the street, plowing through my fence at 7:23 a.m. Not a shred of fog, just pure stupidity. Armed with footage, photos, every regulation printed and highlighted, I file a formal dispute. And guess what? Officer Martinez, the same cop who wrote up the original bogus report, calls me whispering. Garrett, look, Patricia's got a lot of influence, okay? She donates equipment, throws barbecues for the department, but if you can prove your case, I'll fix the report. The pieces click. Patricia doesn't just run the HOA. She's got a cop in her pocket. Next comes the board meeting. Agenda: unsafe property modifications. Translation: let's make Garrett wish he never fought back. That room stank of burnt coffee and Patricia's perfume, so thick you could taste it. She ran the meeting like a trial, tapping those acrylic nails while everyone nodded like dashboard bobbleheads. Mr. Kowalski, bless him, actually nodded off. The whole thing was theater, a kangaroo court. They fined me $500, retroactively changed the fence rules, made it non-compliant overnight. Sitting in that stuffy room, watching Patricia smirk, I had a real epiphany. This wasn't about the fence. It wasn't even about the money. It was about 25 years of intimidation. Patricia's playbook, clear as day. Manufactured violations, rubber-stamped votes, legal threats. She thought she'd won. What she didn't realize, I'd spent my life fixing broken systems. Every bully has a blind spot. They think their victims stay quiet forever. Time for a new plan. Patricia's next move was pure gangster. A letter demanding $4,100, late fees tacked on. A copy sent to my mortgage company claiming ongoing property violations. She wanted me to pay up or get out. That's when I went back to the courthouse. Days spent with old records, tracking every dollar, every emergency contract, her brother-in-law's firm, her husband's construction company, even her daughter's $87,000 scholarship that nobody else could apply for. The whole family, getting rich off the neighbors. But paper trails aren't enough without people willing to talk. Door to door, the stories started coming out. Mrs. Monroe's mailbox got wrecked by another board member's kid. She wound up paying for community beautification. Kowalski confessed to voting against his own conscience, scared of Patricia's power. Over and over, the same targets, newcomers, the isolated, anyone who couldn't fight back. Then twist number one, right when I was drowning in paperwork, I found a gold mine. My attorney, during my divorce, drilled this into my head. Document everything. Always. Flipping through old files, I found state laws on HOA governance. Turns out, Patricia had skipped 4 years' worth of required annual audits. One resident, 25 signatures, and you could force an emergency board election. Suddenly, her fortress had a massive crack. But Patricia wasn't backing down. Surprise inspections started piling up. I had garden gnomes out of season, house numbers in the wrong font, grass too short. Fines stacking up, orange violation slips plastered on my door like scarlet letters. She was trying to break me, financially, socially. And that's when Bryce, dear old Bryce, made it personal. Security cam caught him spray painting my mailbox at 2 a.m. Real creative, words I can't say in front of my kids. Called 911. Response took 45 minutes, even though the station's 5 minutes away. Officer Martinez shows up, sees the HD video, and says, "Maybe we handle this neighborhood-style, Garrett." I wanted to laugh and scream at the same time. Patricia's power reached everywhere. But here's the irony. 25 years of control meant 25 years of her signature on every contract, every check. No way out. The more she panicked, the more evidence she made for me. And then out of nowhere, another twist, Mr. Kowalski, the board's sleepy guy, corners me at the mailbox. "Garrett, we need to talk." Turns out he's retired IRS, 27 years tracking financial crimes. He's got boxes of records, recordings, proof Patricia's been running personal businesses, through HOA accounts, all under the radar. That's when everything clicked. Patricia was more than a bully. She was a full-blown criminal, stealing millions from the people who trusted her. But criminals get desperate when cornered. Suddenly, her cousin's law firm is sending me threats, $6,700 in damages, 72 hours to pay or they start foreclosure. Patricia's smearing me online, calling me a problem resident, rallying a digital lynch mob. Only problem? I'd learned from my divorce, document everything. Screenshots, IP traces, even fake comments traced back to Patricia's home office. Neighbors started waking up. My petition needed 25 signatures, got 60. Every signature came with a story. Every story another nail in Patricia's coffin. Then came the discovery that made my jaw drop. The reserve fund, which should have $8.7 million, had only $127,000 left. Patricia had been siphoning money for decades. Now she was rushing to change bylaws, sell assets, anything to cover her tracks. And she tried everything: restraining order, surprise audits, intimidation, even hiring private eyes to follow me. But every desperate move just built the case against her. Bryce got himself arrested for a third DUI, and Patricia, panic-stricken, tried to bribe me to make it all go away. $10,000 cash, right there in the grocery store, recorded on my phone. I almost felt bad for her. Almost. The investigation went nuclear. FBI raids, asset seizures, RICO charges, the whole 9 yards. Federal prosecutors called it one of the most comprehensive HOA corruption schemes in state history. The day of Patricia's hearing, the courthouse looked like Times Square, news vans, protesters, neighbors cheering. When I took the stand, evidence piled up faster than she could deny it. Contracts, fake repairs, college scholarships, luxury cars bought with community money. Then came the kicker: audio of Patricia trying to buy my silence, broadcast for the entire court. Her face, man, I wish you could have seen it. The judge didn't mince words. This case represents the worst abuse of community trust I've seen in 20 years. Patricia got 18 years in federal prison, millions in restitution. Bryce, community service, cleaning the very parks his family looted. The neighbors who used to hide now celebrated in the streets, kids making signs, folks hugging on courthouse steps, people laughing like they hadn't in years. 6 months later, the difference is night and day. Lawn mowers run without fear of fines. Kids play in the streets. Neighbors wave instead of whisper. The board elected me president, God help us all, so I set up monthly open meetings, live-streamed, full financial reports posted online. The Patricia Thornfield Memorial Accountability Rules. 3 signatures on every contract, mandatory independent audits, no more shadow games. But the real win? Watching folks find their voices. Mrs. Monroe's on city council. Kowalski started a foundation to help other neighborhoods. Sarah opened a legal clinic for HOA victims. Even my ex called to say she was proud. We started a scholarship fund, turned Patricia's mansion into a community garden, and every July 4th I paint my fence red, white, and blue. Seems right. Sometimes it takes one $800 fence to save millions and change lives. Funny how the things meant to keep us apart, a fence, a rule, a bully, can end up bringing people together when you finally stand up and say, enough. So here's what I realized late in the fight, when coffee and exhaustion made everything clear. Bullies bank on your silence. They thrive on intimidation, on people giving up. But the moment you start documenting, pushing back, refusing to be afraid, that's when you get your power back. You might not win right away. Hell, it might cost you sleep, money, more than you'd ever want to pay. But justice? Oh, it's the sweetest payback there is. And now, every morning, I sit on my patio, coffee in hand, and I think about what Patricia said as they led her away. You have no idea what you've done to this community. She was right. I don't. Maybe nobody ever will. But I do know this: she didn't just steal money. She stole trust, and fearlessly we took it back. But what about you? Have you ever faced a Patricia? Where's the line between standing up for yourself and putting a target on your back? Is it worth it? I want to hear your stories, your fence wars, your suburban tyrants, your little victories. Drop a comment below. Let's swap battle scars and maybe, just maybe, remind a few more bullies that the days of easy intimidation are over.